Hi and welcome to episode 15 of our playthrough of Empyrion. So where we are is we left off the last episode when we were in Symos, and I set up a base there with a teleporter link and then flew back to Omicron. So now anytime that we want to go to Symos we can do via the teleporter, like so. Now, one thing we saw in Symos, a couple of things we saw in Symos. Firstly, there were a couple of ore nodes right next to where we were going to put our base down, one of which was a medium Erestrum node, but there was also a very large copper node. Now, one of the things we did in the last episode, if we just look, we placed down a tier 1 autominer on a small copper node here, which doesn't deliver copper very, very quickly. Now, if we pick this up, deconstruct it, we'll get our autominer core back, and we can make a tier 3, because we now have all the goods that were limiting before. Before we didn't have enough Zascosium and Erestrum, but after our trip to Symos we do, so we can now convert that back to a tier 3, go to Symos and put that on the very large node, which will generate copper about 10 times faster than a T1 autominer on a small node. So that's one thing we're going to do in this episode. The other thing is, if we just look at one of our goals, we want this vehicle here. So we're going to need 8 optronic bridges and 4 matrices. And if we look at what we've picked up on our travels so far, we've only got 4 and 2. Now we can start making some more, but we will see very quickly. These guys need 20 gold ingot each, and we only had 53, so we just lost 20 there. So the next one's going to use another 20, and that's going to be us out of gold. So if we go to the other one that we want, we need 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. You see that each of these needs 15 gold ingot, so we're not going to be able to afford all this. So one of our needs is gold. And another thing we saw on Symos was that it had a lot of gold nodes, so we're going to go mining for gold on Symos when we go there to place down our autominers. Now, one thing you're going to need with gold, you can't put an autominer down on a gold node, and one thing we're going to need, if we just go to F3, and it's in miscellaneous, or is it in tools, is an ore scanner, and we'll see why later. It's the only ore. Well, some Promethean mines also you need an ore scanner, but we'll see why we need one of those later. But let's get that made. So ore scanner, so that's coming. Now another issue we have at the moment is we want to get our trading game going, because there was that guy in the base at Symos who would buy platinum bars, and there was also a trader who would sell platinum ores, so we want to get that going among other things. And to get going on trading, we also want to go to the sanctuary here. Now we could fly there, that's easy, but ideally we would be able to teleport to sanctuary, but it says we can't because our reputation is not good enough. So the first thing we're going to do in this episode is get our reputation up. Now, just going to the factions here, we can see that we're close to 18,000. As soon as we get to 18,000, we will be able to teleport to Sanctuary. And the way to do that is just go start killing things. So this is going to take a while. I'll get it started, but then I'll do most of it off camera. So what we want to do is we want to get into Polaris territory and then just start killing predators. Make sure our lights are on. So for example, there are a couple of predators right here. It's one of the times you actually don't want a headshot, because you want to do as much damage as possible, because you get reputation points for damage. So just loading our guns here. Let's get that guy in the rear. So that was 102 reputation points. This guy will give us more. 119 because we avoided a headshot. So all we have to do is go around and just keep killing things. If we look at our reputation now, we're up to 16.5. So this is going to take a while. So what I'll do is I'll do it off camera and I'll be back once we are at friendly with Polaris. Back at base now, and we killed enough things, so if we look at our factions now, we are at friendly with Polaris. So that means that we can now teleport to Sanctuary when we want to. Now if we also look at the factions again and just look at the details, second line down says friendly and honoured will get you a price cut when trading. So going into trading, that was the second reason we really wanted to get our reputation with Polaris to friendly, because we get better prices. Now I did, off camera, I just set aside all of the things that I know that we could sell there. So this is generally just the tier 1 stuff. We have to hang on to the tier 2 stuff for later. This is stuff that we can sell in Symos. In fact, while we're here, I think, just looking at this, we can sell coolant there too, and we can sell spare parts. So when we go to Symos, we will see the trader there, and we'll take all that stuff. But for now, let's head off to... One thing we could do is we could start taking these. We've got 12 Explorer tokens, but there's nothing... The only thing we can afford with 12 is an epic drill. And I don't really want one of those, so we're just going to hang on to our tokens. But let's head off to Sanctuary. And here we are at Sanctuary. It takes a little while for everything to render in. So one thing we have here is this galactic information network. If we just look at this, this is where we sell our Explorer tokens if we want to. So if we go to Explorers Guild and reward info, it gives you a list of all the things that you can buy with the Explorer tokens. So we've only got 12, we could afford an epic drill. 14 we get an epic autominer. But again, it's nothing we really need. The really good stuff is up here. So I'm not going to bother spending the tokens that we have. But the traders are over here. Now this is going to be the guy, I can't remember which one buys the weapons. Let's have a look. Yes, this one. So we can get rid of some pistols, shotgun, assault rifle, sniper rifle, flamethrower, and multi-tools. Or a scanner we don't want to get rid of. And this is the guy who sells the autominers. So we could afford more than one, but we're just going to get one for today. Autominer core buy 8577. So we could afford more, but I want to get to Cymos and to start buying some platinum ore and converting it to platinum bars, because that's where we're really going to get our money. So that's what we wanted. So that's the two main traders here. There are some others around that sell medical and other items, but let's get home. So now we can get ready to head off to Symos again. Now I'm going to get some more bullets coming, just because we were a little bit low, I think. So I think, what's that, 1,000, 2,000, that'll do. Now we did pick up this autominer core here. We can't sell drills there, so I'm just going to put this back in the sell list, which is here. Now I did pick up this autominer off the copper, if you remember, because we had a tier 1 on this, and we need to deconstruct that. So this is the deconstruct queue. So if we just look at the deconstructor, we do indeed get our core back. So we just have to wait for this to finish. Meantime, let's just put our core in here, the one that we just bought, and get another tier 3 coming. So this will take a little while, and once I get this core, I'll do the same and get 2 tier 3s made. I'll be back in a second. We now have our autominers made, so if we look in our inventory, they're ready to go. Now I've picked up a couple of other things. I've picked up a portable heater cooler, because as we saw in Symos, the temperature can be all over the place. We can be hot, we can be cold. So I've got these in case we end up in a cold place, but I've also made a bunch of these in case we end up hot. Just have to bear in mind that they do have an expiry time. Now what else? I picked up all of the tradables that we can sell in Cymos as well, which is T2 projectile pistols, coolant, spare parts. And we are ready to go. I've got the additional, I thought I made 2,000. Yep, there's the spare stuff. Oh, one thing I'm also doing is I've been picking up the water containers that we've been making down there and converting them into hydrogen, just for the future. So I've got this going on hydrogen right now. So I just picked up some water containers while we were waiting for the autominers to make. So this is cranking away making hydrogen, because if we remember, we're going to be making fusion cells for fuel later on in the game, just going to F3. We need hydrogen bottles and promethium for that. So we've got the promethium coming. We've got a couple of tier 3 autominers on promethium. This is probably mined out by now. We need to go pick it up, probably next episode. But we're ready for Symos, so let's head off. And here we are in Symos. So it's the same base as we have back in Omicron, but I haven't really done anything to it, just a large generator to make sure that the teleporter there has enough power. I put it in a shower. Let's just check our... We don't have any radiation at the moment, but if we did, that's just for the radiation. And this is in case we get radiation sickness, because this planet does have a lot of radiation. So let me just have a quick look. So we are armed just in case we get a base attack, so that's not an issue. And we also left this SV here, which we made. So let's just go deal with the trading first. Just looking for the hangar doors this side, I think. Yep. Oh, let's take care of this guy. So one thing I didn't mention earlier, or forgot to, is that there is actually a repair bay here. So if we do pick up any scratches, we can get our ship fixed. All we would have to do is come over here, just go repair the template. It tells us there's no damage blocks at the moment, which is what we just made the thing, so that's no surprise. But if there were damage, it would tell us what the damage was, and tell us over here what resources were needed to fix it up, and then we just dump them in here. So that could be handy. Now as far as the trader is concerned, so the one who takes the coolant, etc. Is it this one? Yeah, so we can sell this off. And the spare parts. And we can buy some ore. So if we look at the platinum ore here, so it's 390. What's that, about 2.5 per 1,000? So that's going to be about 74-ish. So we can get a few more. So actually, let's just stay there because I want to see how many. This guy can take as few as 30 or 40 platinum bars and as many as hundreds. So you can take quite a few today. But we got to make them first. So what we can do now is just head downstairs. So we're pretty much broke right now, but by the time we get back here, we'll have enough platinum bars that we can start to sell it off. So we did this before, where we set the that particular fridge up as the input and output, and now what we can do is just crank up a load of platinum bars. So what we can see here is that 5 platinum ore makes 10 ingots. So we had 75 platinum ore, so we're going to get what's that, 150 ingots out of that. And each ingot creates 9 platinum bars. So I think you can do the math there and see that we can make a lot of money there. So what else do we need to do? We're pretty much everything. Just going to top up the oxygen a little bit while we're here, just because it's free and easy. Now let's go place those 2 cores that we have. Those 2 autominers, that is. Just reminding ourselves, the Erestrum is right here. So just looking at that circle in the top right there, just make sure there are no drones liable to one-shot us. So I need to get this in the 1 slot. Feed it some fuel. 225 an hour, that'll do. Now there was, let's just ping. There was a nearby copper mode, that's right there. Looks like it's guarded. Or is that a friendly drone? Yeah, I think we're good. It's a Polaris drone. So again, we should get 400 here, I think. Yeah. So that's our copper and Erestrum pretty much dealt with for the rest of the game. Now just opening up the map, I'm just going to go console and map just to see where the gold is. It was off to our left, yep. So let's head off there. See about how we can mine this. So before we go, just go in console and all. There is one particular drone on this planet that will blow us out the sky. We can handle all these tiny guys. Drone large, no problem. Minigun, no problem. But there's one called a, I'm not seeing it here. That's Polaris. Oh, there it is. So we have to be careful of this guy, the Qvera class cutter, because that will one-shot us. So the way to manage that guy, I think, is just watch that circle in the top right, and if you see something red, have a look around and just make sure it's not that particular drone. I'm not seeing anything too scary around. Yeah, that's pretty much the, as long as we stay away from the defenses, that's the only thing we need to be wary of on this planet. So here is our first gold deposit. It's hot, so I'm not quite sure how we're going to do this. Let's just make a room here. Because I don't think this is going to be that effective at this temperature. You see 130, does it make any difference? Yeah, it does, it helps a little bit. So let's just try and do this quickly anyway. This needs to be an inventory. I think it can be up here as well. But anyway, let's see if we can just get our F5, spamming F5. It's up here, wasn't it? So let's get our... So this is where the ore scanner comes in, because you can see, if I just go into God mode for a second, so if we just look at how these mines work, you get these balls all over the place. Now, if you don't have the ore scanner, what you end up doing is just digging out tons and tons of rock, looking for all these balls here. But the ore scanner helps tell you where they are. But as we were, so 92 degrees. Let me see, does this help? No. So this is a little bit tricky on how we can do this. We keep just jumping into jetpack on. So this is going to cool us down, but I'm not entirely sure how we're going to do this unless we wait for night time when it gets cooler. Let's just try again. Yeah, it's not getting much better, is it? Well, let's just see how, as long as we don't die, let's just get, see how much we can mine. So that's drone mode. So there's our first ball there, which is exposed by the a blue circle. And then we just have to keep chasing those blue balls. And without the ore scanner, we wouldn't have this guide as to where they were. Here. And here. Don't see any more blue circles. It's only effective to within about 30 meters though, I think. So no, we haven't got more yet. I'm not seeing any more blue circles. So we're still on tier 1, heat, 78 degrees. We're actually not that bad. I'm guessing because it's nighttime. So let's keep going. So any blue circles. So we just have to play this game, and that is just hunt the blue circles. And of course, if we tire of the game, we can just go into God mode and just do it that way. Yeah, let's do that because I can't see them. So console, God mode. Oh, did we get them all? That's why there were no more blue circles. So the ore scanner did its job. Nice. Okay, nice. Actually, you should have realized that because if you look, the signal, the sign that says ore deposit 100% disappears as soon as you get everything. So let's head back. So we need to rinse repeat that with all of the gold nodes. We've got 3 more up here. So let's head off. So I think I'll do that off camera because it's much the same. Well, it's exactly the same as we just did. You just go up to the deposit, start digging, get your gold out. So I think I'll do that off camera. And in that case, just end the episode here. I'll be back with episode 16. We'll see how much gold we picked up. So thanks for watching, and hope to see you next time. Bye.